What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. If you've ever seen my workspace, you know it's small and, well, pretty cluttered. I realized it was time to make some changes, so I decided to expand. It's still not 100% complete, but it's close enough to get some work done, and with the fall season upon us, the pumpkin lantern orders have really been flooding in. Thanks for stopping by, and here's a current update on the shop expansion. For this build, I had to knock down a few trees, excavate the ground, and do all the prep work pretty much myself. It's a pretty big job for several people, but I managed it on my own pretty well, if I do say so myself. It was a hot day, probably around 94 degrees, but I stayed hydrated and up under the canopy of leaves most of the time. With the trees gone, the excavating wasn't all that bad, using my Kubota to do most of the heavy grading and lifting. I just took my time and leveled it down the best I could without a fancy laser. The floor will be built on blocks anyway, so the ground just needed to be close, and I would be leveling the blocks and frame by hand using the old shovel method. After digging down, I discovered a piece of the existing flooring with some rot on it. So I spent half a day jacking up the corner of the existing floor just to replace that rotten piece. It got me behind a little bit, but it was okay. With the piece repaired, I started clearing some space. I did a little stump burning outside while I worked on the new frame and got to make most of every minute I had. I began the frame using some reclaimed wood that I already had lying around. It's always great to use whatever you can and what you do have on hand, and it gives the shop some character, especially since reclaimed is the name of the game. For the rest of the wood, I grabbed the lumber from the orange box store just to finish the frame. Shout out to the 2 employees that were standing there watching the wife and I load the trailer. Salute, you guys rock. Slowly but surely, the new space started to come together. Small steps, but soon the shop's going to feel twice as big. I started framing the floor using sturdy 2x6 lumber, making sure everything was square and level. Once the frame was solid, I carefully laid down some sheets of plywood over the top, securing each one so the floor would be strong and stable. It's a simple step, but getting a solid foundation makes everything else in the build go much smoother. And now that I have a floor, it's ready for the rest of the shop. With the floor finally complete, it was time to move on to the roof. I started by building the rafters out of 2x4s, carefully measuring and cutting each piece to make sure that they fit perfectly. For the main supports, I used some of the sturdy 4x4 posts. These would hold up the weight of the roof and make sure everything stayed solid over time. To keep the rafters strong and give myself something to attach the roof to, I added 1x4s across the top of the rafters. This gave me a solid surface to be able to screw the tin onto it, and it also helped tie the whole frame together so it wouldn't flex or wobble. Once the framing was complete, I carefully lifted each sheet of tin and secured it to the 1x4 supports. Hearing the tin click into place and seeing the structure take shape was such a satisfying moment. So I had to pause and celebrate. Yup, that's me. Look at what I have created! It's amazing how quickly the roof can transform a space from an empty frame to something that actually feels like a real workshop. Even though it's just tin, the roof is strong and weatherproof and exactly what I needed to get the shop fully functional. With the roof done, the next step is tackling the walls, and from here the extension really starts to come alive. With all the sharp tin edges, you'd think it would be dangerous, but nope, I had to cut my knee on the ladder. I guess it's just not a good project without some blood, sweat, and tears. With the roof finally in place, it was time to protect the walls. I went ahead and covered them with plastic to block out that chilly winter wind that's coming very soon. It might not seem like much, but getting the plastic up and secured was actually trickier than I expected. Making sure it stayed tight, covered every opening and didn't flap in the wind took just a little patience and a lot of stretching. From a distance though, it really starts to look like a real space. You can start to see the outline of the new shop extension, and it feels like all the hard work is finally paying off. And of course the inspector had to come by the job site. Look at Mr. Man. He worked so hard that he just decided he would flop down for a nap right in the middle of the job. I can't complain though. Having a buddy around definitely makes these long days a lot more enjoyable. So with the roof in place and the walls covered with plastic, it was finally time to take down that old wall. It came down pretty easy, and of course it revealed just how cluttered the shop really was. I got to work cleaning up and organizing the space, sorting out lumber and tools, and even managed to get one of those wall-mounted wood racks up. It feels pretty good to see the shop starting to breathe again, and actually makes sense now that I'm getting a leash on it. The outside walls are getting a rustic makeover with pallet slats to match the rest of the shop. And inside, I built a portable dedicated miter saw table to make workflow so much smoother. I've also started framing in a door, but I'm holding off on cutting through that plastic until everything is ready. The shop's starting to feel like a workspace that actually makes sense. I'll keep you posted on the progress in upcoming videos, so stay tuned because I can't wait to share with you what's next in the new expanded shop. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate your support. Feel free to drop a comment in the links below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Memberships are now available for upcoming exclusive perks, and we'd love to have you in the scrap pile. Please remember to like and subscribe on the way out, and I'll see you on the next one.